All right, I've got to take a pause just to kind of get to actual content here. We'll just get in chat forever. So, all right, so Ego, the first thing we just connected over, and I was like, okay, he loves it like I do. Let's talk about it, and that would be Tulsa King. Oh my gosh, man!
Yes.
Oh, Tulsa King.
Yes.
So, what was your first impression? Because I want to hear what your thoughts were when you first heard, "Hey, Tulsa King is a mafia show with Sylvester Stallone."
Yeah. So the thing was that Shiro, my wife's her best friend, her husband loves mobster movies, and so he tried to get me in Sopranos, but I couldn't really get into it. And so I told him a few months later, I was like, "Hey, there's a show called Tulsa King coming out. What do you think?" He's like, "Hey, I heard it's actually going to be pretty good. You should watch it." So the backstory on me is I actually went to undergrad in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So if you know the statue that looks like this, you know where I went to undergrad, right? And so me being from there, I'm like, where are you going to show this and what are you going to show? Because Tulsa is very distinct and you know where these places are. So when I watched the first episode of how he stepped off the plane, that really is the Tulsa airport. It really is. You're just like, wait, this is it? You walk out and then everyone, wherever the flight lands, whatever gate, you all leave through the same exit. And so you're just like, oh, this is it? This is it. And so the lady spraying him with the holy water at the beginning was a little bit over the top. But if you've been to Tulsa, it really is like that. So the places that they film, the center of the universe, the hotel where he stays, and all the shots are pretty much Tulsa. It's a little bit outside of the city because I think that they have to figure ways around it because of where the undergrad I went to is so prominent there. I don't know how they're going to get to do any more seasons without at least somewhat mentioning it. But, as far as the shots, that really is Tulsa. And so the acting is phenomenal. It's really inspiring that even though Sylvester Stallone's 75, 76, he can still take a show that you wouldn't expect a lot from and really give it his all. I didn't know how he was going to do after Creed 2. And I didn't know if this was kind of like the backup and he was kind of phoned it in, but he did a really good job. A lot of the characters are believable, and it's not like a movie where I'm creating an alliance or I'm creating a team. He's just, oh, you're good at this. How do you do that? Okay, you should join me. Hey, you're in the cannabis? That could work. You should join me. Or, hey, you run a bar and you're actually a roughneck? You should join with me. And everyone in the show has a choice to choose him or to choose to be on his team or leave him alone. And so, watching it throughout the season, I actually really got hooked, and I was surprised at how fast I got hooked. So my Shiro and I, we watched the season finale last night, and we're already like, wow, when is season 2 coming out? I went all over the place with that, but
you're right. And it was so exciting to know there's already a season 2. Like thank goodness. Like it's not like it was announced pretty early on. So about episode 5 or so, we had a confirmation there was going to be a season 2. I saw episode 1. I was blowing up the boys. I was telling Loki, I said it could be Sopranos. And then I have to admit, episode 2, 3, and 4, it slows down a lot and it become very Dwight centric. I did an episode, pretty much a review on almost every single episode. I think that one of them I had to combine 2, but I was a little concerned that there wasn't world building for a couple episodes. It was pretty Dwight centric. Yeah. But then exponentially, it starts like it's like the snowball going down the mountain. And by the time you get to the end, you almost feel cheated because there's just so much happening. You almost can't take it all in. Like, holy cow, like what? And then, unlike any shows, unlike all of these spoon feed endings, they drive you right to the curb and they go, oh, by the way, that's not what we're going to do here. We're going to do something completely different and we're not going to explain it. And now you're going to want season 2 even more. And you're probably going to need to watch season 1 again before it starts because the shock factor of it.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. And the thing is, it didn't make it to where they had to make a lot of outsiders come in to build up Tulsa. It was like, no. That person's here. They've been here, and you're moving into what they're doing. So how are you with the biker gang? Like that was actually a really good touch. I didn't want to hear about, oh, we're battling for Tulsa as if Tulsa's some hot commodity. It is the commodity in Tulsa, but the people that are already there have a record of what's already going on. So Dwight's actually trying to get into what's already going on and then having to fight off people that are already in the same thing. So, for me, I like the fact that they didn't choose it as like a dead city, even though that's why he was sent there. But
Right. But
I
it
like
wasn't
the
it
fact that
wasn't as though it was a bunch of New Yorkers coming in and setting
right,
up shop. It was just
that
him.
was
And
yeah.
it was done well because of the uncertainty. You were to me, I was hooked because I was like, okay,
Mhm.
they didn't do what you said. They didn't. He goes to New York. You feel like he could be killed. I mean, they said
Yes.
he's not, but you actually felt tension, right? And he
Yeah.
breaks all of the golden rules. Like he punches another made dude right in the face. Like
Oh
in
yeah.
reality, he should be dead.
Dead.
But
Yes.
then you
Dead.
feel like, well, with new rules, because
Yep.
they've all admitted, like they obviously, for those of you who are not into mafia stuff, because Joker says he's not into mafia stuff. Fair enough, right?
Understood.
The mafia people tell you when they saw Godfather, they started dressing and acting that way. Like when
Mhm.
Goodfellas came along, you start to see
Oh yeah.
transgressions of Henry Hill and different things. You start to know with Donnie Brasco, and it changes things.
Mhm.
Like these are real life accounts that have been adapted. The books are amazing, by the way. If you're into the mafia genre, I'm telling you, find the books down a rabbit hole. And I have to admit, Joker, it is sort of like a set of like cliches and different things like that. But the sad part is, or maybe the cool part is, it's all rooted in reality. That some of this
Yeah.
stuff is not.
Yeah.
The line between fiction and reality is very
Thin.
small at times.
Yeah. Yeah.
He also plays a character that is 75. Right. I thought that was
Yeah.
very smart. They weren't going to try
Yeah.
to play it up like he was like
He's
60
50.
something
Yeah.
or yeah. Let's talk about the secondary characters real quick before we move on to
Sure.
another one because
Yeah.
I loved every character, and the only complaint I'd have with the show is I didn't get more of them. Like I would have loved to see a little bit more of Tyson beyond just the scope of the
Yes.
dad relationship.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Bodie
so
lives in this
with
freaking mansion almost, and I'm like, how did we went from like the podcast
hilarious.
running the store to this like come to my house? I thought they were in Dwight's house, and like Bodie lives in this freaking like they
Mansion.
don't even talk about it. No one even mentioned, hey dude, how did you? Isn't it a little on the nose for you to live in this where no one's gonna ask question where you got all this money? Like no, because
I
he's a
mean,
total yeah.
yeah, I mean, he's actually the funniest character, and it's like it's unintentionally funny. It's just like he's not upset and he's not depressed. He's just like, I was doing fine, and you're messing everything up with my life, but I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah,
He
just
would be
do
like
this.
me. He would be me. I would be ticked off that I'm stuck now with the mafia guy and I know what that means. And I would walk in the room going, I
Mhm.
want you to know how mad I am. The feds they tore my business all to heck. My wife is ticked off. Everyone's mad at me. And it's because of you. And what are you going to do about it? It's like, oh, by the way, I've got your back. And it's such a great twist that he
It
knows because
is.
it is
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, it is cliche, but these mob
Yes.
guys, they are always one step ahead for the most part. Like
Yeah.
it really is one of those things. Like the police will get them eventually because they never stop. But reality, so
Yeah. That's what I mean.
um,
That's what I appreciate about it too, is the fact that in all the other mobster movies, you're waiting for the guy to flip on the mafia, and he's like, "Well, no, I didn't do that. I just wanted, give me compensate me for the 25 years." And they're like, Tulsa, and he's like, "This is ridiculous. I'll go there because that's where you're saying things are." And it's like, "Well, hey, there's a loyalty to a fault." And they're like, "What happens when you have been loyal the entire time, and now you're out, and you're expected to get paid for the loyalty, and it's kind of being paid and kind of not." But as
mhm.
far as what is his name? Tyson. I think what they might do is I think they're gonna wait to expand his character more based on a relationship with his father, because I actually like that the guy that plays his father is a great actor to me, and he plays a great father figure. I think what they might do is save it for season 2 and to see if the relationship is strained. They'll probably talk about Black Wall Street. Like, have you heard about Black Wall Street or?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
and
think that's what
unfortunately,
they're
we had to have the horrible Watchmen show introduce that to most Americans, and then
right,
now the politics have brought us Juneteenth, and people
right,
have clawed onto this as though it's this
right.
long time thing, and half of them are
No,
completely wrong about how history went down, and it
right,
makes my head hurt as coming from
right.
someone, and I'm sure it does you because you're even more into that, like the intricacies of history
I
and things like
didn't.
that.
Well, thing
Yeah.
is, I didn't even know about it until like I was a junior in college, and I was in Tulsa, and they were saying, hey,
Mm.
these are topics. And I said, what is this topic? And I read it. I'm like, oh my God. Then I read the book on it too. And so I think that's going to be their way of talking about it, because it's a big part of Tulsa's history. So I think they're going to save it to like expand Tyson's character a bit more with his father by using Black Wall Street. Maybe he'll say,
Something
hey,
like,
your grandfather
and that's the
was.
kind of stuff that can get them woke points, right? They can come
Oh yeah.
across as getting woke points, even if it's not. It doesn't have to be like. Trust me,
No.
Dwight. By the way, if any of you lean like maybe conservative / just grouchy old guy at the intolerance of younger generations, you will live vicariously through Dwight so many times in this show. The humor is like the unintentional humor that most of Hollywood tries to be. It is such a great show. So, well, that'll be our clip. Yeah, season 2 is coming. Couldn't be more excited. This is another home run for Paramount. One of the best shows of the year. So,
oh yeah.